All right. What's up, everyone? It's pretty dark in here. Let's get get those lights on. Very red. Right, hey Cash. How's it going, man? Welcome. Welcome. Let's get the lights up so you guys can see me and I can see something as well. Ooh, that's much better. Look at that. Man, like I literally, it feels like it's woke up. Man, I had the longest night. Woke up like 100 times. Raining. Almost had like a storm outside. So I haven't really slept very well today, but I'm excited to start this new live stream with you guys. So I'm doing, I'm starting a new thing here. So I'm gonna do every Thursday, right? Every Thursday I'm gonna do a live stream here on my own channel, and you guys know that I'm also doing live streams on other channels out there, like the Fivers, for example. We're doing the live trading room every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But I want to do my own thing. I want to, I want to do my own thing here on my channel to kind of like showcase my own community, showcase my own, not only my skills in trading and my system, but I want to be able to freely express myself and my personality in whatever way that I want, in whatever way I want, and create whatever content that I think you guys want to see, and also the stuff that I want to create, and more importantly showcase some stuff that I basically can't do in other formats. And I'm gonna do a mix between crypto trading and Forex trading. It's probably gonna be something like 70% Forex and 25% crypto, with most of the crypto trading is going to be on Bitcoin, right? And what I wanted to talk about here first is what I'm gonna do in these live streams is basically, I've been thinking about the type of content that I want to create for this channel, and I've been struggling with trying to figure out if the best course of action is to create videos, educational videos for you guys. But I think my strength comes with live streaming. I think that's where, in live streaming and trading live is what I really enjoy. And I think we need to do what we enjoy doing, right? And when it comes to the educational content, yes, I like creating videos. I like creating, educational videos for you guys and help you out. But I think the best way to learn how to trade is to watch someone trade and then explain what they're doing while they're doing it. So there's something special with live trading, actually seeing someone execute their ideas and then talk about what's happening at the time of execution. Because I can teach you I can record a video for you guys. I can teach you a specific technical system, but it's something completely different when it's time to execute that idea. And I think that's where, trading psychology comes in. And I believe I'm quite good at talking about my emotions and identifying my emotions at the time of entering a trade. So I think that's going to be quite beneficial for you guys. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start on Thursdays. I'm going to do the London Open. So I'm going to do about an hour every Thursday morning. I'm doing the London Open. My goal is to do this every day. So Monday through Friday, every morning. Because I'm here at my desk every morning doing my regular market scanning routine. I'm looking at the markets and I'm placing trades. So I figured, why not, invite you guys into that trading session. And that's the goal of these live streams, to show you the reality of trading. What you're seeing here on the screen is the Discord server. We have the trade setup channel. And before you say, oh, it's another paid community, shilling your community, blah, blah, it's free. All right. So you can just go into the description of this video. We'll take you to a WAP page. You can sign up. It's completely free. I do have a paid option as well, the private mentoring option, but it's super expensive. You don't want to buy that one. It's $15 a month, where you get like personal access to me and other cool videos. But stay with the free one. That's where you get the trade setups. You get my trade plans right here. This is where every week I give you all my all my trade plans, all the outlooks that I have for the week. And then we got, of course, the community section, the trading room. So a quick note on the trade setups. This is not a signal service. I'm not gonna tell you exactly what to do, where to buy, where to sell. Of course, I'm gonna give you TP, stop loss, and all of that, but I will sometimes not update these trades in real time. The reason why we have this trade setup channel is, one, to keep myself accountable and to also to get used to trading publicly, because with what I'm doing with the live trading room with the fibers, it's quite stressful, and it's actually quite difficult to be trading live, and kind of like you kind of feel naked at times when you just you give it all and you trade live, and when you have a losing streak, it's really stressful, to do it all publicly. But having this trade setup channel is also like I'm giving you everything. I'm showing you all my plans, all my trade setups, and all the details of my execution. So what I'm gonna do is in the beginning of all of these live streams is just give you guys an update, give you guys an update on the trade setups and the trade plans and what's happening and what's not happening, So right now I don't have any open positions. You can see the last post here is on Euro JPY. We closed that trade at break even, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. So we had a nice 9 trade winning streak. I did not post all of my trades in here because some of the trades I'm taking, when I'm doing the live trading room with the fibers, and I don't really have time to update this one, but I make sure to at least show you the trades that I'm taking and how I enter them and how I found them and what the plans were and all of that. But yeah, so we had 9 winners in a row, and then the NCD JPY comes along and it's a loser. No big deal, I had a nice winning streak, and then that loser comes along. The only problem is because I'm having because I now have a high win rate but low risk to reward, and I'll show you later, the bootcamp evaluation program that I have with the fibers, I'm currently at, I believe, 80% win rate. And then I have an evaluation with Alpha Capital as well, and I got 85% win rate, I believe, on that one. And I'm almost past the first evaluation stage on this winning streak right here. So almost a 100% win rate on that one right now. So the win rate is quite high. But the risk to reward, of course, on these setups are quite low. Sometimes, very low. Sometimes below half an hour, because sometimes I just need to exit earlier because of some mistakes, or you know how it is. Sometimes you just exit earlier than what you planned to do. So the winners are small, but they're many. The problem with that is if I have a losing streak, that's going to be detrimental. Of course, if I have a losing streak, I will give back all the profits. So my goal here is to make sure that I stay disciplined. I take only the setups that make sense. Okay, so let's see if we can bring up the trading view chart. It's gonna be this one right here. So here we go. That's the trading view chart right there. And this is Euro JPY, and this is the previous trade that we've just took. I'm not sure I like this layout, the stream layout that is. Let me know in the comments. You like this layout, or are you gonna like the other one better? I'm gonna show you what I mean in the next scene. I have here in OBS. So I'm using another software here when streaming. This is not the one I'm using with the live trading room. Is trying some new things out here. But this is NCD JPY here, and this is the trade that we took. One of the reasons why I did exit this one yesterday at break even was because of the fact that we had a major news event for the Japanese yen. I think there was like GDP growth, something like that. And even though it's not like a super major news event, it was still in the red folder, I believe. I think it was. Let me actually double check that. Was it actually in the red folder? No, that was in the yellow folder here on Forex Factor, which means very low market market impact, which kind of wish I looked at that first, but then we'll see. Now you do have events here. We did have that one right there, and that is marked as a high impact news event in TradingView. So I guess when you have conflicting yeah, ACAS says use chart on full screen layout. I think that's best. That's what I'm gonna do that. So just give me a second, and I will adjust that, because I have this layout which I quite like. Let me show you. I think this one is going to be much better. And you will see everything. You'll see the price action much better. And there's nothing in the way. I think this is the way that I probably should do it. Okay, so let me break this down. Let me break down all the, you know, the whole thought process of this trade right here. Let's first, and by the way, guys, if you don't know, you can go into TradingView, click events, and then you have economic news events here, economic events. And then you can click this one to show past events or only future events. Having this one unchecked is quite good when you're back testing. Is if you want to back test, you know, the basically you want to back test, you know, news events on and the performance that it has on your system. Then it's cool to do that in TradingView, so you don't have to go to like Forex Factory and go through there. Okay. Let me break this down. Why did I decide to take this trade? Well, first we have massive move to the downside right here. So we have this nice trend going right here, and then obviously, as you can see, trend is breaking, you know, when this area kind of gets broken, right? So you see a breakdown, like a break, and almost like a break and retest here to the downside, big move to the downside. Yeah, it doesn't really matter for this setup, if I'm gonna be honest. Then you go to the weekly, you see that it's somewhat of a weekly level here as well, you know. Then to the daily, I mean, it's not perfect, but there's something that kind of makes sense here. You have a strong move to the downside. You have a strong move to the downside into the weekly long reload zone right here. You have a big wick on that weekly candle. Strong reaction to this overall support area. On the daily, you have a very, very strong daily candle right here. And then another nice, strong, bullish pin bar candle right here. And then we reclaim the 0.618. So now when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, you know what? There's actually, in my mind, I have the feeling that there's a certain probability that price is going to start, you know, start a pullback of this downtrend. So it does seem likely that it's going to, you know, trade back up and retrace some of this down move right here. So with that in mind, we're now looking at the higher time frames, all right? And we have somewhat of a bias. And now when I have that bias on the weekly and the daily, which basically means price is coming down to a high time frame level. Now, again, this is not the super perfect setup, but I'm just trying to find a direction. I'm trying to get a directionary bias on the higher time frames. And when I have that, I go into the lower time frames. Now, let's use the replay function here in TradingView, which is just a fantastic tool. And this is the trade. Now, this is quite simple, I would say. This is now a sort of a break and retest setup on the 4-hour, okay? So we now know that we're inside a high time frame support area, and we're inside a high time frame support area, and we're now looking for a reason to go long, because we have the bias of the higher time frames. Again, we want to This is not only about trading with the trend. This is about identifying high time frame support and resistance area, and then trading based on the fact that, is it support or is it resistance? If price comes down and hits a major support area, we could say that with a fairly high level of certainty that an area that has been used as strong support in the past will most likely be used as strong support in the future as well. Not all the time, it's not always like that, but if we're only looking for a very, very small move at that level, if we're only looking to make money on the very first initial reaction to that level, well, then we are going to have a fairly high win rate, okay? Because a lot of times you'll see price come down, hit the high time frame level, and then it has a reaction. Now, we don't know how big that reaction is going to be. We don't know how far up or low price is going to go after hitting a level like that. And that's why I'm only looking for a very, very small move, because I don't know if price is going to go, I don't know if price is going to go up here. Like, I have no idea. I could put a TP here and just hope for the best, right? But I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know if price is going to go up here. What I do know is that there's levels, okay? So there's levels all over this chart. And what I do know is that if price is going to go higher, what level has the highest probability of being hit? Okay, so let me repeat that. I know that there's, with fairly high probability, I know that there's going to be a reaction at this high time frame level. But I don't know which of the levels it's going to hit. I don't know which of these levels is going to be the last, the highest price point has reached. What I do know, however, the first immediate level has the highest probability of being tested. It's just very logical, right? Imagine that you have a rock, okay? You have a rock, and then you have, in front of you, you have multiple glass walls, okay? You take this rock, you don't really know how thick these glass walls are, okay? You don't know how thick these glass walls are, and then you're gonna be betting with a friend, and you're gonna say, let's make a bet, and let's see how many of these glass walls I can shatter by throwing this rock into the glass wall. So let's say I have 3 glass walls, and for every wall the rock goes through, for every glass wall that the rock shatters, you'll make more and more money. So you get, like, let's say you get $1,000 for the first one, $5,000 for the second one, and $10,000 for the last one. And your friend says to you, if you not shatter, but if you hit the first wall, I give you $1,000. But if you hit the next wall, I give you $5,000. And if you hit this third wall, I will give you $10,000. But then your friend says you only need to hit the first wall to make $1,000, and you have no idea how thick that wall is. Well, I would, in every scenario, I would just take that $1,000, because then I could just, throw the rock on the first wall with no force at all, because just touching that wall, I'll get $1,000. And it's the same thing here. Same thing in trading. We want to go long in a break and retest right here. That's the break and retest, okay? We go down to the 4 hour. This one right here, that's the break and retest. That's the area of entry. Now, these are all our glass walls, okay? First one, second one, and third one. I'm standing down here. I guess you could say glass ceiling, right? I'm standing down here, and I'm gonna throw that rock up. And if I hit that last glass ceiling, which means I shattered that one and that one, I'll make the most amount of money. But what's the probability of hitting that one, especially when you don't know the thickness of the ceiling, of the glass ceiling, right? Well, I'm always gonna take profits here, because I know that the probability of having a bounce at a high time frame level is very high. It's very high. And the probability of hitting that first level is also very high. The probability of hitting that level much lower, and the probability of hitting that level much lower. So I'm looking for the easy trades, if you will. Okay, the obvious trades, and obvious comes from price hitting a high time frame level and giving me a reaction. And then the easy trade comes from taking profits at the very first immediate reaction. Yes, like Akash says in the chat, the first level has a high probability to get hit, and that's always going to be the case in trading. There's this principle of, you know, the first touch. It's the same with a break and retest. The first touch has the highest probability of having a bounce. If you're going long in a break and retest, the first retest after a breakout has the highest probability of giving you a bounce. And then, of course, the first touch of the first level also has the highest probability. Like, that's where you're going to make money. Now, I want to show you something else. Finding good entry areas is not complicated, okay? Not complicated. What I'm doing here is I have this level marked out. That's the 0.618 right here. What I can do is I can probably, if I want to get the most perfect entry, place a level right there, because that's the breakout level. That's the wick on the 4 hour. That's a little bit higher, that wick. We're selecting that wick to the left because that's just a little bit higher. And then we're going to the settings of this line right here, and we're going to look at, it's 805. Let's just put that at 7. I don't know why I like 7. I just like the number 7 if I have to choose. I like to choose like 7 to the upside of 4 to the down. Like, I don't know, like, it doesn't really matter. But just front running that a little bit. Actually, let's do a little bit more. 12 to make sure that we're really, you know, front running that level. Let's remove that one right there. And now we want to put our entry orders right on that level. And then again, we're looking like TP. My original TP was here, and this is also one of the reasons why I wanted to exit this trade, because this was the trade, you know, 0.5R. And I actually lowered the TP of this one as well. But I think the way that I should have traded this was to have my stop loss here, and then actually TP at half an hour around this area right here. This should have been my trade, and this is something I have to work on. I have to work on having a little bit of a tighter stop loss. Now, I know that I always say, like, have a wide stop loss, have a wider stop loss than you think you need, but I still think that this is actually a quite wide stop loss right here, especially when you have this clean level and you have that breakout. This is a fairly wide stop loss. It's well below the lows that created the entry triggers. So this should have been my trade, okay? Now let's look at where we get filled. That's a pretty good fill right there. So price comes down. That's the first initial reaction. And this is also a reason why a lot of times you see that, and I guess this was because we had we had news also as well. So actually the 0.618 right here, which is that little blue line right there, that would have been the best entry area. And that's also a lot of times why I use the 0.618 as my entry area. So having that lower entry is a lot of times going to make you miss out on a trade, but you're going to get those very, very good entries, which a lot of times will be worth it. So what happens with this trade? Well, it would have hit TP. And the thing is, I added that level, right? And I added that level, how did I add this level? Yeah, like that low right there. And then you have like this low. So that is the first immediate level. So this, again, I have another trade. This should have been a winner. No, this should have been a winner, and I need to look more into this and see like why didn't I take the trade like this? I could even have, you know, entered on the 0.618 right there and then upped my TP to that first initial level and still getting that half an hour that I'm looking for. And I'm looking for 0.53R because the commissions are usually, I think when calculated correctly, I think I come to the conclusion that the commissions are 0.03R. So 0.53R is what I need. And now we can look at another trade. the losing trade on NZD JPY. I actually entered up here. Terrible trade actually. Entered for all the wrong reasons. It was a very good setup. You can see that it actually has the almost the exact same type of break and retest setup here on NZD JPY as we had on Euro JPY. Same structure, but NZD JPY break and retest happened about a day before. And the same thing here. You go to the daily, you see a very strong move down to the high time frame reload zone. You can go to the weekly, and you see it quite simple here as well. Very nice wick on that weekly candle, comes down into the reload zone. I used to think that, you know, it's time to move higher here. So what I did was I went into the 4 hour and I market enter here because of probably FOMO or greed, right? But what I should have done instead was just put my limit order right here. Stops, could be the same stop, and then TP at 0.53, and look at the difference between these two trades, right? And then, you know, I would have been filled here right before price stopping me out on the first initial trade. So there's a lot to you know, uncover and find here in the statistics and my journal, and this is something that we're going to focus a lot on in these live streams. We're going to, you know, go into the details of my journals. We're going to go into the details of my trades, and we're going to ask ourselves, what do I need to do to improve? What do I need to do to make sure that these losers, you know, what do I need to do to make sure that the losing trades that should have been winners are actual winners, you know? Nice, just had a notification that I got a package to pick up on at the store. I just ordered a nice stand. I'm gonna have a screen in the background, like a PC monitor screen. It's pretty cool. Professionalism to the live stream here. I think that's going to look very good. Okay, so enough of that. Let's actually, now that I know some of the mistakes I've done, which is on EU and I mean Euro JPY and NZD JPY, some of the mistakes I've done here is exiting, having a bit of a, like, too wide of a stop loss. Yeah, I think that's it. Too wide of a stop loss, and not looking at my TP area where I need to make sure that I do exit at the actual FTA, the actual first trouble area. See if we can, do we have any news happening? Let's see what we have here. We got, it's August the 15th. We do have core retail sales at 14:30. That's right. Tomorrow Biden is supposed to be speaking. Yeah, I don't care about that. We got retail sales at 14:30. That's obviously a big deal. So Euro GBP, I got this cool indicator, by the way. It adds horizontal support and resistance levels. This is, oh, look at that. That's so nice. This is the level I had on. Okay. So this is the level I had on, and the thing with, yeah. So let's talk a little bit about this. I've started playing around with this indicator. It's an indicator that adds horizontal levels, but I also see that a lot of times it will add levels that I would not have been adding on my own, which means that if I'm going to be trading based on this indicator, I will have to trade only using this indicator and not my own levels, because then I would be mixing two ways of trading. And do I really want to just be trading based on an indicator creating levels, or do I want to stick with my way of adding levels because it's my way of adding levels that have given me profits? But I can give you a good example here. Now, I like this level. I really like this level right here. But if we remove that one and we add the indicator, and to find this indicator, you can go into go with the indicators right here, and you type in SRMTF, and then you're gonna get this one, which is support resistance channels by someone called Lonesome something. If I add that one, you'll get all the levels here. Now, what's interesting is if I add back my level, look at that. The level that I added is just perfect with the level that the indicator found, which is amazing, right? This indicator has actually found the exact same level as I did, which means that, yeah, the indicator is really good, and the indicator can find the levels that I found as well. Not only did it find that level right there, but it also found a level above, which I missed. But now looking at price action, it's obvious that that's also a good high time frame level. So if we assume that I would have had this level on my chart as well, then I would probably have been able to get a trade in on this. Let's look at the again, let's go to the replay tool, and we'll see that price is now hitting that level, hitting that area, going into the 4 hour. Now we're simply looking for bullish reaction at this level, which I think actually, if I can add the fibs here. At the 50. Doesn't really align. You see, sometimes, you know, at the level below aligns very nicely. Akash says, have you ever tried leveling short with Heikin-Ashi? No, I've never really looked into Heikin-Ashi, but also like what I'm doing now is what I'm doing here in trading is quite successful. So I'm not really super interested in trying something else, because what I'm doing is actually working quite well. But Heikin-Ashi, first of all, I think Heikin-Ashi charts just look absolutely beautiful. I think they're very cool, and might work for me. You never know. Like, I might actually have to try this out, right? But going back to the candles and looking at the replay function here, let's see. We have, okay, so we have that level right there. And in this case, you know, we're looking at this, we're at a high time frame level, we have a reaction right here. And now I want to be adding a level here, because what if we have a retrace of that move right there? Let's see, what do we actually have here? We have an untested level. What if I just enter at market? Would I be able to make something out of this if I exit here? Where does my stop loss have to be? It has to be, my stop loss has to be down here, which does not leave a lot of room. But I can enter down here and then exit up here for 0.5 R. So that would be the trade that I would be looking for. Let's see what happens on the next candle. Okay, so I would be filled on that candle, and then boom, straight up. That's crazy. What happened there? Was that GBP news? Let's take a look. Only economic news events. Yeah, okay, that was inflation rate for the for GBP, which, you know, obviously I would probably not have traded this, you know, with the, but you can see here that, you know, this is still, even with the news event. Now, of course, I would not have taken this trade with news event. The idea would still be the same. You have price coming down, testing a daily level, a daily high time frame support and resistance level. It's a nice break and retest. Go into the 4 hour. Just look for strength. Okay, just look for strength, and then we have, you know, the next immediate level. We can look at the lower time frames here. Where's the next immediate level? You know, I'm entering, you know, here, stops below the whole structure, and then where's the TP? The TP is, you know, on these lows, and by testing this general area right here. That's the first immediate level, the first immediate resistance level. Now, I usually don't go to the 15 minutes, but I think it's more better to watch the 1 hour. And here you can see that structure right here. So yeah, I think this is a really simple way of trading. But again, as you can see, there's a lot of discretion involved, and so I think it's important for new traders to realize that I'm trading this way because this is my personal trading style. This is the way I'm trading, and it feels quite liberating to be able to remove all the indicators and just trade, you know, trade based on pure, you know, price action and horizontal levels. Because I also have another setup, which is the RLZ method, where basically this indicator, and you know, it's a good indicator, but I see that it just didn't work, you know, very well for me following these signals. But I'm actually in the process of testing this again with the 0.5R approach, because I do think that it can be quite profitable with some of these long signals actually. And I want to try to combine it with the with this horizontal support and resistance tool as well, especially if I can align it to the 4-hour charts. And we're now on the 4-hour, and I'm adding the indicator, and I'm basing the levels on the 4-hour. Okay, so it's still that level, still very good level right there. It's very interesting. See if the levels can be added again. Did it not get added? I need to be on the actual 4-hour. And this indicator is so good. So what I like about this indicator is the fact that I don't now, if I'm only using, you know, if I'm only using horizontal levels and price action, then if this indicator is able to give me the horizontal levels, then I literally don't have to do anything. Like when I'm doing my weekly market scanning, I'm just going through the markets, waiting for the levels to get marked up, and that's basically it. We can look at this one right here. I would just go through the daily time frame. Yeah, like Akash is saying, like 0.5R does really help boost the psychology for beginner traders. I think, you know, trying a negative risk to reward ratio is it's a weird thing, you know, but it definitely works. I gotta get some coffee. Man, it's getting cold. Yeah, so like I would never try negative risk to reward if it weren't for you know, if it weren't for me doing interviews with traders in at the fibers, and some of the more successful traders, they some of them are using a 0.5 risk to reward, so they're having negative risk to reward ratio, which when I interviewed them and I looked at the statistics, and I'm like, okay, this is weird, you know, like you're not supposed to make money, you know, kind of like that. So when I realized that yes, you can be quite profitable with a negative risk to reward ratio, I tried it, and wow, you know, I went from like 50% to 80% win rate, and the profitability wasn't really that insanely different, you know. So looking at the daily here with this support and resistance indicator, I do feel like this isn't really good, you know, getting into buying into resistance, but there's a good level here. And if you add the fibs here, you'll see that we got the kind of reclaiming the 0.618 right here. And then what I would do then, of course, is go down to the 4 hour. And the thing with this one is I missed the entry to the, you know, 3 pipettes on this one, but this would also be like, and here you can see I'm able to use a fairly wide stop loss with just looking for a move up to that first initial level. So that is the first initial level right there. And I like to look at determine the first initial levels on the 4 hour. You can see right here, missed entry by just a pipette, you know. But if I would have just went up just a little bit right there, then that would be would have been quite the profitable trade right there. So that's just one missed opportunity on GBP/USD. But here you can see the structure is very, very clear, right? You have a clear downtrend, break of structure right here, and then a break and retest here. So that is basically the whole idea. Okay, so let's see. We got. Thank you for joining here, Cash. Like, I really do enjoy your engagement here in the comments. It really creates a lot of value for me and also a lot of people watching, because your questions and your comments here are definitely very, very valuable. So you're saying here that including CEO Saul, which is Saul is the CEO of Fivers. Yeah, and exactly. You know, he's quite profitable, and he's the CEO of the Fivers. He's a very, very good trader, and he's been trading, I believe, for 17 years or something like that, maybe 15. I don't know, like, but long time, very good. And he, like you said, sometimes you're gonna take profit at 1 hour, sometimes you'll take profit at half an hour, sometimes you'll take just even lower than that. But it's all about following the market, following the structure of the market. And if you look at the 4 hour here for GBP/USD, I could have exited at the beginning of the level, and of course had a bit of a tighter stop loss, maybe that type of stop loss, and that would be a 0.6R. And then if you go into the 1 hour, I could easily have my stop loss. Yeah, I mean that would be a pretty decent stop loss. So now in that case, I'm looking for 0.6R, and then if a lot of times I'll also look for the last local high, which is right here, and that would be a 0.9R trade. So a lot of times it's about looking at what is price doing right now and is following price, and that would determine the level that you're going to be exiting. All right, guys, I think I need to go. I need to prepare for a meeting, but I would like to thank you all for joining here today. And if you want to follow my updates on the market, you want to get the trade plans. You want to see all the trades plans that I'm doing on the weekend. Sometimes when I don't have time to do it on the weekend, I do it on the Monday morning. But if you want that, you can all go into the Discord server, and I will share all my plans in the trade plans. If you like trading like me, this is an invaluable resource for you, because then you don't really need to do a lot of market scanning. As you can see here, I go through about 40 pairs every week and post all the results here in the trade plans channel. And then all the trades I'm taking, every single trade I'm taking, I'm posting it in here, unless I'm busy doing something else. When maybe I'm doing the live trading with the Fivers and don't have time to post the setup, and then I don't trade it. And then of course you can go into trading room, join the community, and discuss trading and the system. And you can find all the links in the description below. All right. Thank you all for joining, and I hope to see you all next week on Thursday, same time. And the goal is, again, to try and do these live stream every morning for the London Open. All right, take care and see you all